So my name is Lakmo Chitima. I'm the Group CEO of ECB. ECB operates in 4 or 5 countries, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Malawi. We do a bit of work in Angola and recently Zambia. We're looking to expand into the rest of Africa, particularly the SADC region. We are very much focused on the banking community, okay? And we are focused on almost everything that a bank does, from corporate banking, retail banking, channels in the form of branches, in some cases mobile and online banking. We also lately have skilled up on risk, to try and meet the new regulatory requirements that are coming through, like IFRS 9, Basel II, Basel III, and we skilled up in that. So we cover pretty much end-to-end what the bank does, and that's ECB. In terms of the people that work for me, we are actually all ex-bankers with an IT background, so we tend to understand what the customer wants right up front, and even advise customers on products, on services, and that we have seen that to be very helpful. But that's ECB for you. We have worked with MISIS for a number of years now. We're probably one of the oldest partners. I think between 12 and 13 years we've been working with MISIS. And how it all started was I was actually head of IT in a bank, and we were using MISIS products. Then I transformed into ECB and partnered with MISIS up to this day. Initially, when we partnered with MISIS, I do suspect that I was one of the few partners that were there worldwide, and it was both of us were learning how to work together. I think MISIS at the time was very strong with its own delivery team in terms of sales and professional services and those kind of things. So we were very much involved mainly on the licensing side of things. We're not involved with services or implementing any products in the customer side. But over time, as we gained experience, we developed an implementation team, and we slowly began to get revenues out of implementation, as well as ILF, and that has been very good for the company. I think right now we're probably getting, in terms of revenue every year, maybe 30% implementation, the rest in ILF. But we're moving towards going to a 50-50 sort of revenue income from that process. We have specialized, I think, lately on core banking systems. We are probably one of a few companies that can implement equation wall to wall with very little MISIS intervention. I believe we are one of the few companies that can implement fusion risk wall to wall with very little intervention. We are now skilling up on digital channels, which is online and mobile. We have implemented online mobile in a bank in Zimbabwe. That has been a very interesting experience. And I think my team is pretty much skilled up in there, and I think we can now move on to the next customers, obviously. Like I said, we operate in 5 or so countries, and so we're involved in developing all those markets. Talk about quantum leap of technology in Africa. I think that's one of the advantages that we have with MISIS, to be honest. I think that we have access to the latest technology, which in Africa takes us from 100 years to now. And I think that does help. The areas around financial inclusion, which is key in Africa, as most governments insist on ICT at all levels, even in the rural areas, where everybody has got some form of touch with some form of technology. I think the MISIS solutions come in handy in there. And I think I found that to be good. I think we're seeing a shift now, like in Europe, from, if you like, the old way of doing things to the new way. Transformation, digitalization, SaaS, software as a service. Those are things that we're beginning to talk about in Africa as well today. And I see that MISIS is way ahead in that world, and I believe we'll be able to tap a lot of insights from there and apply it in our region. There's been a huge change in terms of how MISIS works with its partners. I think in the last 2 or 3 years, we have actually seen a proper ecosystem being built by MICES, where partners are very much involved in the entire process of business development, sales, implementation, that kind of thing. We've seen clear processes of how to engage with MICES and the customer. I mean, we have a very interesting situation where we are actually a customer to MICES, and on digital channels, for example, where we actually then sign directly with the customer. We're the primary contractors, and MICES is the secondary, but the products are MICES, and it's working very well because my people get skilled up, I get more revenue. MICES has got a guarantee of revenue is coming from me, and I think that has worked well. So that ecosystem, that partner ecosystem that we see today, I mean, is actually probably, I don't think you can get any better than that.